Monterey's Cookin Pisto style is brought to you by the Monterey County Vintners and Growers Association.
Hi, welcome to Monterey's Cooking. I'm John Pisto. Today, I had to do this program because I tell you the truth, folks, I'm a tomato lover. I mean, I love tomatoes, and I wait earnestly every year for the tomato. I mean, I trace them down from Cabo San Lucas. They grow them there. Then it moves up, and then we get them from a different area. Then we're getting from different parts of the country, and I start tasting. But I tell you, I wait for a special tomato or tomatoes to come into season, and I'm not talking about the red ones. I mean, they're delicious, but I'm talking about heirloom tomatoes. Now those are tomatoes. Look at these. These are all different varieties. Now look at this. This is called a flame. You can see it has some green on it, and it has a little bit of the orange. That's where the flame comes from. Now these tomatoes are all ripe. All right. I mean, look at these different varieties. These are all organically grown. These are called heirloom tomatoes. Folks, these tomatoes have been around for years and years. However, you never see them at market because they're so fragile, and they have to be picked right off the vine. Every one of these tomatoes are ripe and ready to eat. I mean, look at these. These just came in this morning. I mean, these are incredible. The flavor. I tell you, I'm going to show you how to prepare these, and you're going to watch my face, and you're going to see I'm not going to fake it. But let's talk about this other one first. Now, how many tomato growers we got out there? Well, okay, we got a lot of tomato growers. Now, what happens? You wait, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're all ripe at the same time. Then what do? You give them to your friends. Pretty soon your friends start giving them back to you. I got to show you what to do with those real ripe tomatoes. And if you're like me, I buy tomatoes like crazy, and then I wait, well, I'll eat this one tomorrow, I'll eat it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow never comes, and pretty soon you got a big tomato that's just so ripe, and it starts to mold, and you wait, and then it starts to fall apart, and you throw it away. Let me tell you, I'm going to show you what to do with those super ripe tomatoes. Now, when they get like this, you see how that is? Now, when I was a kid, when they get like this is when you start throwing them. But don't do that. Okay. We used to have tomato fights back in the East Coast in Syracuse. My grandma used to have a big tomato patch, and in the old days, all Italian mothers used to grow, or not grow. Well, if you could, they'd grow, but they'd pack their own tomato sauce so that come wintertime, when we have to have our pasta, there'd be no tomatoes. They didn't want to buy the canned ones because they were so unreliable. They were bitter, and they weren't. But they would go and hand pick out in the fields around Monterey in the Salinas Valley, and they'd pick only the vine ripened ones. And I used to go with my mom and dad and my sisters, and we'd all it's a family affair. And we'd go out and that one's no good. That one's okay. I mean, very particular. And we'd bring back, 200-300 pounds of tomatoes, and then she'd put them up in jars. And I tell you, there was nothing like that. When we'd start using them after the tomato season, the sauce was so sweet, it was like sugar because they were vine ripened and they taste good. Okay? So when you end up with a bunch of tomatoes, you don't want to throw them out because they're like your children. Let me show you what you're going to do. Okay, you get them. This is just one way. This is the way I do it because it's real fast. There's other varieties of ways. Okay, I get them, wash them first, and then squeeze all this water out and the seeds. See how easy that comes out? Okay, and what we're going to do is even cook it down even more faster or more than that. Now, these are some that I've been saving, and these are the ones that I've had in the refrigerator as well. I'll eat them tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is finally here for these. These are all real ripe. To make the fast tomato sauce, we're going to start with a good amount of olive oil, and I tell you, if you are lucky enough to taste this tomato sauce made with fresh vine ripened tomatoes, I mean, that is a real mark that summer is here. And what's nice, you can do it all the time, and maybe if you go to the vegetable section When you look for the real ripe ones, you tell the guy, hey, those are going to go bad. Maybe make a deal with the guy. Okay, chop up some garlic. Chop it coarse. Don't have to be fine. None of this real fancy stuff. Right now, I go through different periods in my life, how I like the garlic. Right now, I like it in nice big chunks. Sometimes I like it when it's little smaller pieces. Okay, high heat, because we want this to evaporate. So start cutting the tomatoes up, throw them in. Now, you're going to say to yourself, what is this guy doing? This looks like just a whole bunch of tomato. And this isn't going to make a sauce. How is he going to make the sauce out of that? Now, what I'm doing to speed things along is I'm not even touching those onions. I'm going to let them brown, and then we'll mix everything up together. See that? Chop them coarse. Look at this. See how ripe these tomatoes are? They still have a lot of liquid, and I got rid of a lot of liquid already. Right in there. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You taste this, you'll never throw a ripe tomato away again, believe me. Okay, this is going to take a few minutes. We come back, we'll be very close to eating this. Folks, it's a miracle. Look at this. Remember all those chunks of tomatoes? And look how that's cooked down. Look at this beautiful sauce. Okay, now what I'm going to do is add this beautiful, summertime. Isn't it the best? Look at this beautiful basil. I mean, this is incredible. Now, the thing is, people go a little too crazy on basil. Don't go too crazy with it. You put too much, it's going to get real bitter. So, just a little bit. And just chop it up. I put it in at the end because I want to keep that real fresh flavor. Now, this is the only time you're ever going to see me use oregano in a tomato sauce. The only time. And I'm putting just a pinch. Otherwise, never put oregano in tomato sauce, because that is not real way. You can put it in pizza, but not when you're making pasta. Okay, and we're going to give it a little pinch of hot pepper, maybe a little extra pinch, and I tell you, it's just like sugar. Give it a good shot. Let's get the pasta. See, you can have this dish, I mean literally, a little bit of salt and some in the water, within a half an hour from making it to when you're sitting down eating it. 1/2 hour. Now, if you are like me, you come home from work and you're hungry. And when I'm hungry, I'm not in a very good mood. I got to get something in my stomach. I got to eat. So I'm going to use capellini pasta. Okay, capellini is also known as angel hair. And always make sure to use a pot that's big enough. Otherwise, this is what happens. For shame. Well, I'm doing this because we're in kind of a hurry here. I'm just trying to knock this out. But that's funny. Okay, capellini takes, or angel hair as they say, takes just I think it's 2 minutes cooking time. So we're talking fast. Bring the water. Now you got to keep doing this with this, otherwise, now if you're not used to cooking this, how many times have you sat down and had this pasta and you get a nice big clump? Well, that's because you don't do this while it's cooking. And what you're doing is just separating those strands. And there's no other way. All right. Let's look at our tomato sauce. Folks, 2 minutes. That's all it is. So have everything at hand. Pasta. Okay, save the water on this one because you don't want that pasta to get all bunched up. Okay? Now, you see how much water I got in there? Let it drain. Don't drain this one dry because this pasta has a tendency to dry out very quickly. So it's okay if your sauce is a little thick or thin, excuse me. Okay, let's put some of that in there. Okay. Oh, boy, is this good or what? Now, this is the big secret with this kind of pasta. If it's looking a little dry to you, what you should do, make sure, is add some of that pasta water. This has starch in it. It won't thin down your sauce. What it does is coat that pasta a little bit so it doesn't get real gummy. And who likes gummy pasta? I don't. Okay, and don't over sauce your pasta either. That's another thing that's done here too much. Okay, look, just like that. Look at this, folks. Now that's for my daughter Gia. She can do this. She's a big pasta eater, folks. This is for her mom. Cheryl's another big pasta eater. Pasta's good for you, remember? Okay, there and there. And folks, this is going to be the best pasta you ever had in your life. If you've ever seen on a menu made with fresh tomatoes, get it. Because I tell you, you're in for a super treat. Okay? Folks, I have been just dying to show these tomatoes off. Okay, these have an extremely short season. Look at these. These are called heirloom varieties. But look at these beautiful tomatoes. Now look, I wash them. These have all been washed already. Now you got to make sure you have a very sharp knife, otherwise you're going to end up with tomato soup. Because these are soft. These are not those phony tomatoes you buy in the store that have no flavor. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that beautiful green. These are fully ripe. Okay, let's get the next one. Now these are the orange ones. This guy's maybe a little too ripe. But this tomato has the ability to be cooked whole, and it will hold its shape. Okay? The thing I noticed about these tomatoes more than anything is that they have a very, very low acid count to them, so that you can eat them. Some people get little sores from eating acidy stuff. These tomatoes, absolutely not. If anything, it maybe needs a little acid. Okay, this is the orange tomato. Now, this is the one they call the flame. Let me give you a better example here. Okay, you see the yellow, green, and then you see the blush on the bottom. Okay, this is called the flame tomato. And this looks like a beefsteak. Okay, look, cut that. Look at that. Have you ever seen anything so beautiful? Look at this, folks. Isn't that gorgeous? Never have seen anything so beautiful as this. Okay, we got the green. Now let's try. Okay, these are a red. Okay, these are not your standard red. Now this is a whole different red. Now, whenever we get these in, every time there's different varieties. Oh, look at this, vine ripe. The smell is smelling up this whole room. Look at this. Tomato sampler. Okay, look at these. Now these are called the, I forget the name of these. But these are going to be purple inside, or real dark red. Look at that. That look purple? But look at these. Now, you know the tomatoes, you know where the tomatoes came from? They came from the New World, all right? New World being the Americas. They were first discovered in Peru, growing on these long vines, and the first ones were very bitter. They were brought back to the old world in England, and where they started hybriding them and making them palatable. At first, everyone thought these were poisonous, and nobody would eat them. The Italian name for tomato I used to think it was not pomodoro, but tomato. Well, tomato is an American, Italian, Sicilian, whatever you want to call it. The Italians call these pomodoro, which the French call apple of love, which comes from pomodoro, because if you break pomodoro down, it means apple of gold, which leads us to believe that the first tomatoes were gold color. All right. Now, you know, the Italians start using tomato in their sauce, and it became very popular. For a long time, they thought this was poisonous, so they stood away from it. Nobody ate them. Okay, but these are just different varieties that they've changed over the years. Okay, look at this one. This is a plum. Look at this plum tomato that's yellow. I mean, look at these. I tell you, and you know what the best thing is? Every one is delicious. Okay, look at these little guys, little pear shapes. Okay, let's put a couple. Well, actually, for those, you know what I do? I just leave them whole, because these are good for popping in your mouth, and these are sweet. I mean, like sugar. Okay, these are little red ones. Let's put some of those there. Okay, and now we got some of the green ones. These are called green grape, because you know what? They look like green grapes, don't they? If you ever see these on a menu, folks, I tell you. Now, they can be quite expensive because they're very, very perishable, and you got to move them. Okay, here's a different one. This may be the same. Let's see if we got... No, this is a little different. Here's another different one. Okay, now we cut one of these. Okay, that's one of the flames. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 varieties of tomatoes. Now, is that good? Okay, this is a pear shape. This is a different one. I think this may be like that. Let's see. Now, we had some gold pear shapes before, but I don't see any here. Like I said, every time we get these are always different. Okay, let's put another one of these. These are so good. Now, how would you serve something like this? I mean, how would you serve something like so magnificent as this? I mean, it's so beautiful. We're going to serve it with the least amount of things to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to cut. Tomatoes and onions are, you know, made in heaven. So I'm going to finely dice, and we're just going to put a splattering. Okay, we don't want to overpower the tomato because we want to taste maybe just a little piece. Okay, then we're going to put, oh, these are these capers. I tell you, this is a meal. I tell you, and we've had these as a meal twice in a row. The first day these came out, we had them twice in a row. First night, second night. And I'm not kidding. Okay, capers. Now, these are the capers my mom makes for me. And I'm soaking them in water to remove the salt. So we just give them, I mean, a touch. Okay? Like I said, we don't want to put too much things in here. Next, I'm going to get the basil, and I'm not going to load it down. I'm going to just a touch. And we don't want to dress it too much. Okay. And when we come back, we're going to put the finishing touches on this magnificent summer salad. Folks, my heart goes out to you, the ones that can't get these tomatoes. If you're up north somewhere, up in Alaska, boy, I sure hope if you ever get a chance, please try these. Incredible. Okay, we've done the seasoning. Now, you got to use the best olive oil you can find. The best. Okay, I'm lucky I got a nice brand that we're bottling some stuff out of Sicily. Sicily. Very, very good oil. Use only extra virgin for this. Okay, oil is medicine. And don't be stingy. Put some on there. Only thing bad for you about this oil is fattening. So make sure you share this plate with somebody, otherwise you could gain a couple pounds. Okay, we put the oil. Now we put salt. Sprinkle a little bit of salt. Fresh cracked pepper. Gotta have the fresh cracked pepper. And then homemade oregano, dried oregano. And I'm only, see how I crush it to release the oil? I'm going to show you a little secret. Is to serve it with some anchovies that are homemade. Look at this. Beautiful anchovies, salted anchovies in olive oil. And these are sardines that are also been pickled with a little bit of olive oil. And then, okay, turn the grill off. I don't want it real hard because you know you want to be able to dip this bread in that olive oil. And you notice I didn't put any vinegar. Now, you could put some fresh chopped garlic in there. It would be delicious. Now, a nice big dish of olives would be also incredible. Okay, this is garlic. Okay, hold it and rub it into that bread. This is the, very hot bread. See, as it toasts, oh boy. And don't be shy with the garlic. Now, believe me, this really goes into the bread. Now, you see, I didn't make it real hard because you know what? We got to dip that in that olive oil. Folks, what we got here is medicine. You eat this every day, I'll guarantee you're going to live to be 100. Okay? So, folks, here we have it. Look at this. This is incredible food today. Incredible health food. The bruschetta bread, the toasted bread rubbed with garlic and olive oil, the beautiful heirloom tomatoes, the pasta made with the fresh tomatoes, overripe tomatoes, and then we have sardines and we have anchovies. Folks, don't forget, you got to try some exotic stuff, but most important of all, just remember this: skinny bulls never win blue ribbons.